Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to meet you today. Are you doing well? Because I hope you are taking care of your health properly. Especially in this era of COVID-19 pandemic, your health is the main priority. Did you know the first case of COVID-19 is identified in Wuhan, China in late December 2019? This case is identified within people with pneumonia. There is also a theory that the virus itself is originated from animals and it managed to adapt to human biologicals due to the consumption of the virus carrier. And on 11 2020, the WHO World Health Organization was forced to declare a state of pandemic as the virus managed to spread it globally. And in Malaysia only, there is over 500,000 cases and 2,248 deaths until 23rd May 2021. 23rd May 2021. I, Muhammad Akasha bin Marzan, will discuss to you about COVID-19 and the way to prevent it. Before that, I want to ask you, did you know how the virus itself becomes so infectious? How the COVID-19 spread globally? This is because the characteristic of the COVID-19, which is spread itself through contacts and also spread itself semi-airborne. Why semi-airborne? Even though the virus is quite heavy, it still has enough buoyancy to persist in the air for a few seconds and a few minutes. This becomes so infectious as humans need to breathe air for every second, for every tick. So virus can spread easily. When someone first contact with the virus, the virus will only be shown the symptom at the earliest date is the next date on the second date, and at the earliest date in the second date, and at the latest date in the 14th date. But normally they will show the symptom on the fifth to sixth dates. Nevertheless, some people still feel that the symptom they feel is not the symptom of the COVID-19, and they still go socializing or go to work. And only after that 5th to 10th that the virus becomes so exaggerated, and the swab test will shown as positive, as the only way to know that someone is contacting with the virus is through a swab test and the blood test. Some symptoms will be shown like fever, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, and other symptoms is quite similar with other illness. And it's only and some other symptoms such as nausea, muscle ache or headache, and new lost sense of taste and smells, which is sometimes some people has it, and some people didn't has it, and some people has certain of it. But nevertheless, some people don't have any symptom at all, which can be called as a symptomatic patient, and it can be a carrier of COVID-19 secretly. Nevertheless, we can do many things to prevent us from contacting with the virus. One of it is we can stay at home. By staying at home, we can avoid from the virus contacting with ourselves. And by staying at home, we can avoid from spreading the virus that we may have. And also, we can also wear masks when during outings, when you at the outside place, as we cannot see the virus, as the virus is too small for our eyes to see. By wearing the mask will filter the virus, as the virus itself is quite big to break through the space inside the mask, which allowing the air to enter our nose. The next we can do is social distancing. Like social distancing means we must distance ourselves from other person at least for 1 meter. This has been researched that the virus only travel after coughing or sneezing or talking for a few centimeters, like 30 centimeters. And with this, we can avoid from the virus to directly contacting with our body and directly entering our system through breathing. Next, we can also bring sanitize. We can also wash our hands and with soap regularly. As with this, we can exterminate the virus that may stick with our may stick with our hands. And by bringing sanitizer as substitute for water and soap, we also can reduce the risk of virus from sticking to our bodies, to our hands. Next, we can register ourselves for a vaccination. As even though the vaccination has emerged, but it still has limited capacities. With this, with earliest registration, we may get earlier vaccine, and we may conduct our daily life earlier. The next is we must the thing that we must never do to avoid from contacting with the virus is avoid touching our mask, as the mask is used to filter the air itself, and the virus may stick to our mask. When we touch the mask with our hands, there is a risk that the virus may stick to our hands. The next is, please don't travel when you sick, as this can causing the virus not only the COVID-19, maybe the other virus to spread itself outside worlds. Actually, stay at home if you ever sick, even though it's only a mild fever. The next is avoid sharing items. This is because when we share items, some items like combs may contains the virus, and may contain some mites that may infect other peoples. And also, actually, it's quite unhygienic to share our personal item with other peoples. And the next one is, we must sustain ourselves from committing handshake, as the handshake can cause the virus to transfer from another person to our person directly from our hands. And we use our hands for many things, like scratching your chin, scratching your nose, and many other things, scratching your eyes. It may result the virus to enter into our body by the virus in the hands through the place where we scratch. As a conclusion, to end the era of the COVID-19, we must cooperate together. We must hold our hand, not literally, but we must hold our hands together to ensure the COVID-19 pandemic is ending. And even though many people following the SOP and use the effort to end the COVID-19, if there is a few persons that still selfish and still do whatever they want, we may cause the fight to be prolonged. Like an idiom has said, one rotten apple will spoil the whole barrels. Thank you.